the line for the Texans if they can pull this out. And if Tennessee loses to New Orleans, they would clinch their first ever playoff berth. So we're down to 8 seconds to play. Second and goal from the 6.
A young franchise, the Houston Texans had fans excited for football again. Through the years, the Texans had made strides in the right direction, but had not made the postseason. In 2011, the organization looked to create history.
In 2010, the first game of the season, you have 231 yards rushing by Arian Foster. Then the following week, Matt Schaub throws for 527. So we felt like we could put up points against anybody, move the ball against anybody.
Wade Phillips had just arrived as defensive coordinator, and J.J. Watt got drafted, Brooks Reed got drafted, Jonathan Joseph got signed, Daniel Manning got signed. A ton of excitement because the Texans weren't good on defense in 2010, and all of a sudden you added all these pieces plus Wade Phillips, and you thought, that's what's been missing.
They were 31st in the league in defense the year before, so you want to improve. You want to get the defensive team better. They had a good offense and a really good head coach too, but try to help the team win. That's what when you come in and they've been losing, you want to try to win.
Family on 3, 1, 2, 3, family!
The revamped Texans were off to a solid start, winning 6 of their first 9 contests. With a 3-game winning streak, the team headed to Tampa Bay to try and make it 4.
The Texans were humming along. Week 10, they beat Tampa Bay on the road, and they're the #1 seed in the AFC at the time, and you have 6 games to go. So you thought, this is it. Not only are you making a playoff run, you have the top seed, you're good to go. We go to the press conference the day after the Tampa Bay game, and I'm thinking, this is one of the most exciting times I've ever seen. It is the most exciting time to be a Texans fan, to be working around the Texans. And then the news breaks. Schaub is out for the year. And the dark clouds set in very quickly. You thought, well, that's it.
I didn't realize that Matt had gotten hurt until after the game was over. We found out on the bus that this could be a serious deal. And it was like, wow, we couldn't believe that we were playing so well. We were on a win streak. We were looking like one of the teams that was going to compete with the big dogs in the NFL. And then you lose your starting quarterback.
Matt Leinart as a backup quarterback, that could be really good because he had played and he was great in college, and maybe under this system, he can bring the plane in for a landing and take you into the postseason. Leinart gets hurt the first half of the Jags game after a bye, and all of a sudden, rookie T.J. Yates is thrust into the lineup during the Jags game.
Going into the Jacksonville game was the first time I'd ever dressed for an NFL game. So I got my first ever NFL action. I was thrown right into a 2-minute drill. When I first stepped into the huddle in Jacksonville, I don't even remember saying it, but some of the guys kind of joked around with me afterwards. I walked into the huddle, I was like, what's up, guys? Didn't really have time to think, which was probably for the best. And I just got thrown right in there. We ended up winning that game.
Although there were some questions about the Texans' offense, there was no question why the defense earned the Bulls on Parade nickname.
I think a lot of 2011 was about an attitude, was about establishing a brand of a defense that we wanted to be.
Stay out here for the first series. I'll go out by myself. Yeah, I'll do it. Seriously. 1 versus 11. I like my odds.
Wade brought an incredible scheme in here with a bunch of great assistant coaches, and we found the right personnel. We played really well together. There was a ton of just consistency in our play, but most importantly, these guys loved playing with each other.
We accept no mistakes. That's our philosophy everywhere I've gone in. Is we're not going to accept any mental mistakes.
We had a great defense that year, and they were really the ones that held us in most of those games, and that was the focal point of our team, was how good our defense was.
The whole Bulls on the Parade thing was birthed that season.
It was an unbelievable feeling because we never had seen defense like that in this building. That Atlanta game was really the start of it. Every time the defense took the field, the hair on the back of your neck would stand up.
There was nothing like a home game and coming to play here, to hear the crowd. They believed in us, we believed in them, and we just helped each other, and at the end of the day, we wanted to win.
And I remember walking in the locker room after we beat Atlanta, and what came out of my mouth was,
Hey, 3 weeks, 3 different quarterbacks, but the same team.
I can remember the locker room that day. It was pretty exciting because you knew you had a chance.
As the defense ushered in a new era of Texans football, The offense continued to find ways to win, despite missing key starters. With a record of 9-3, the team had a chance to create history in Week 14 when they headed to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals.
There's no way you're not thinking about the big moment. And the big moment that day was going to be if the Titans lost to the Saints and the Texans beat the Bengals, you were going to go to the playoffs for the first time ever.
We knew that if we go handle our business, we have a chance of clinching. There's normal preparation that you have each and every week, but there's always a little extra something when you know there's something on the line.
Well, the game gets going at Cincinnati, and it's not going as well as you want it to, all right? The first half isn't so good. Things look a little clunky.
But when you get to that game and we're playing the game, we didn't play very well offensively.
That will do it for the first half.
I remember Greg Knapp, who's a great football coach, been in the league for years, and Rick Dennison. They were talking to me at halftime, and they were, concerned. Hey, Coob, we can't put too much pressure on him. He's young, or this or that. And I remember actually getting mad and saying, he's our guy. We play with him just like we would play with our first guy.
We were coming out of the locker room to go into the second half, and J.J. Watt, he walked up to me and said, "Go do something great."
So we went out and we got more aggressive in the second half. We turned TJ loose. In a lot of ways, TJ's the one that went out there and got us in position to win.
In the second half, we did get better in all regards. Our defense kept us in the game.
And Barwin knocks it away. Reed with the recovery. Sack, fumble, Houston ball in the red zone.
There was a key play in the game where we had a fumble.
Who's got it? It could be Eric Winston with possession, and the Texans recover.
Eric Winston ended up recovering it, but we had like 4 or 5 guys, offensive linemen, 300-pound guys sprinting down there. It was utter chaos, but at the end of the day, we ended up with that ball. That was just the type of team we had, the type of guys we had on this team that we weren't going to ever give up.
We just kept plugging away, and it wasn't until I think the fourth quarter where we put a drive together to get it back to 1 score.
Here's a 33-yard field goal attempt by Rackers. He must make it. Kick is up, and the former Bengal Rackers knocks it through.
We're down on the road. We got a long way to go. I think we had 80 yards to go.
It was 2 minutes and some change, and everybody knew that we needed a touchdown to win. We started off the drive. I hit Owen Daniels on 3 straight plays. He really kick-started it for us.
Big play to OD.
And I hit Kevin Walter on an end cut, kind of around midfield to keep the drive going, which was a big 3rd down conversion.
Owen Daniels, I don't know how many 3rd down conversions he had on that drive. TJ scrambled to make plays. There was a bunch of plays all around.
DJ Yates, 12-yard run, 1st down, Texan.
Once we got the ball down to the field, Coach Kubiak called a great call, had us on a double move that we ended up getting a pass interference call on Jacoby Jones to get us a 5-yard line. And then with 2 seconds,
Yates gets the snap. Looking to his right, throws over the middle, caught! Touchdown, Houston! Kevin Walter with the TD reception. 2 seconds to go. The Texans can take the lead with the extra point. They do it. They come from behind to beat Cincinnati 20-19. And if the Saints hang on in Nashville, they are the AFC South champions for the first time ever.
I just remember feeling this indescribable feeling of being proud of TJ. I remember going over to him and hugging him and telling him great job because he stepped up and he stepped up big.
As it turned out, the Texans, when they score the go-ahead touchdown with a couple of seconds left, when they score that touchdown, the Titans aren't done yet. Now it's time to watch TV.
We went in the locker room, and I just remember nobody wanted to listen to me. Everybody had the TV on.
And we're trying to do a post-game show, but I'm watching the Titans and the Saints, and that game's going longer. So I'm thinking, when is this thing going to end? I end up calling the game off the monitor, their game.
Time is ticking as Locker takes the snap, looking for an open player. He's down! The Texans have done it! They're in the playoffs! They have won the AFC South for the first time ever! Houston is in! The Texans are the champions of the AFC South.
So, funny story about this one. I was so immersed in the game plan and trying to do my best to get the game plan down, try to help our team win. I didn't even realize what the circumstances of the game were. I knew it was a big game, obviously. After you win a game like that, last second touchdown, everybody's gonna be extremely happy, pumped up. But then, after the game, something started to build a little bit more. You start feeling a little bit more energy. You go in the locker room and everybody's watching another game on the TV. And I was kind of looking around, I was like, what is going on? The hats start breaking out. I figured it out pretty quickly, but probably for the best. I didn't really know the magnitude of that game, at the time, and it probably helped.
We leave that stadium division champs and fly home that night to a bunch of people waiting on us in the parking lot. So, that was just that was a huge, proud step for the organization.
I'll never forget buses rolling in, fans lining the streets, and impromptu, the team just sort of sets up this little stage out there at Bud Light Plaza, and players are getting up on an open mic. TJ Yates, rookie, gets on the mic, division champs, baby. And it was just kind of funny to see because he's just thrown into this thing. And all of a sudden, he's an instant Texans folk hero.
I think my most memorable moment as a Texan was 2011 making the playoffs and just being a part of a team that was the first to do it as an organization. Not many people can say that.
It was special to do what we did that year and make history for the team. It was something I'll never forget.
That play became very popular in the NFL for the next side. It's still run in the NFL. It's a concept that I can sit here and talk all day about, but we had put it in that particular week for that game. It wins us a big game. And then you sit there and watch people run it year after year after year in the league. Funny how things like that happen, but it still takes you back to that day.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.